After visiting Algonquin Park countless times, it was time for a change. Although this was only an overnight stay, we decided to try something new and visit Balsam Lake Provincial Park. The objective of this visit was quite simple. Explore a new park to see if it's a viable option to come again and cook some delicious food. Unfortunately, we arrived at an awkward time and didn't have long to explore, but we made do with what we could. For lunch, Dina prepped and sauteed some veggies, while I made some dough and worked on the meats. The dough I made was a basic mixture of flour, sugar, dry instant yeast, water, salt, and pepper. Nothing too exciting. I formed the dough to make a small pita so we could use it as a base for our eggs and veggies. With steak, I seasoned very plainly: salt, pepper, and occasionally I'll try some herbs, but in this case I tried a blend of Cajun and pepper seasoning. When the pan is good and hot, it's time to add the steak to get a nice sear. Eggs can be a challenge on the fire as they are delicate little things, and this pan makes it a lot harder. But when you're out camping, no matter how you make anything, it always tastes amazing. While Dina took a nap, I took to the trails to see what was up with this park. Having done minimal research, I took to a nearby trail which led me to the amphitheater. This is a cool addition for kids who may get bored somehow while camping. But of course, during COVID, nothing is up and at 'em. But still, it was a pleasant little walk. It would likely be worthwhile to come back for longer than we stayed to explore a little more of what Balsam has to offer, maybe sometime in the near future. It was time to start our fire for our next meal, and I used the classic technique of brushing the fine bark hairs off the cedar trees. This stuff takes a spark amazingly and is my go-to for fire starting. As you can hear, the campsites were very close to each other, and it was rather hard for us to feel at peace with such noisy neighbors. But any camping is better than being home in the city. Once again, Dina prepped all the veg for our dinner tonight. Of course, you gotta take a break when cutting pickles. They make for a great little snack, especially these pickles from Strubs. They taste like genuine homemade pickles. They are perfect and remind me of the ones that my grandpa used to make. Tonight we are making smash burgers on the fire. Smash burgers are my favorite, not only because they are super easy to make, but they have a crispy, salty goodness you just can't get with regular style burgers. It's simple. You have your ground beef, cover it with your salt and pepper, and smash it on that hot pan. This pan has to be very hot, or you won't get the proper sear. Give her one good flip, and wait a minute, and she's good to go. They may look like they're burned in some areas, but that's just good caramelization. With burgers, you can't just use straight up ketchup and mustard. You gotta use a blend of ketchup, mustard with pickles, mayo, a splash of hot sauce, and some garlic powder. The amounts of each depend on your preference, but I used mostly mayo with a small amount of both ketchup and mustard, just enough to give it some color and a little bit of tomato flavor. Pickles are chopped very finely and garlic powder is mixed in. It's best to wait a little bit after the blend is made for the full flavor to be released. I swear, you'll never eat burgers any other way after you try it. After a pleasant dinner, it was time for us to head out and check out the beach. It was about a 5-minute walk through some nice areas, but it really didn't feel as remote as most places in Algonquin Park. This is a great park for families or for larger groups, but I very much prefer Algonquin camping, and backcountry camping for that matter. This was our time to help Kaia get her confidence in the water. If it was her choice, she would stay at the shoreline and just go in past her paws. Slowly but surely, we are trying to get her to enjoy the water. We want her to be comfortable in the water in case something happens while canoeing. Nothing is more important to me than my family's safety. I must admit, the water here was nice and warm, the beach was large, and the water felt relatively clean, so I enjoyed the time we spent here.
Good girl, Kaia.
The sun was falling and we started getting tired, so it was time for us to head back for a midnight snack. Kaia was pooped after her swimming lessons, and so she had a front row seat to watch our shenanigans for the rest of the night. I prepped the fire for the food that was about to come. Tonight's meal was a simple one. Fire-roasted spider dogs, homemade buns, and roasted corn on the cob. Sometimes the easy ones are the best ones.
Can I show you how you eat?
The buns I'm making are more or less the same as what I made earlier, just with a little more yeast and seasoning, which will make for better taste. This technique of making a volcano with a flour is a good way to make dough without a bowl.
Can I get started on the corn?
Yeah. I kneaded the dough for a few minutes and let it rise for between 30 minutes to an hour. While that was happening, Dina finished making us some roasted corn on the cob, a classic campfire favorite. Even Kaia got in on this midnight feast. It's hard to see here, and of course the camera doesn't do it justice, but this bun was quite soft and very tasty. It's become a staple on all my camping trips. Balsam Lake Provincial Park is a great place to take the family. Or if you're starting on your camping journey, I would suggest to go to a place like this to learn the do's and don'ts of camping. However, I prefer a more remote and challenging camping experience, but sometimes these trips can help take the edge off when you've been cooped up at home for far too long. Thanks for watching this episode. If you've made it this far, I'd like to remind you that feedback and sharing this video is greatly appreciated. I want to grow this channel and continue releasing content on a regular schedule. I would also love to hear some of the things that you guys would like to see. Please don't hesitate to let me know, as I'm always looking for new ideas. I have a lot more content ready to be released, so sit tight, and once again, thank you for watching.